Hello everyone, we are glad to have you back. In The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Rick and Michonne appeared to be on their way home at last, but a critical error may have altered the course of the entire series. Rick and Michonne ultimately got back together after a long time, but since then, they have had a lot of problems. The couple had been tense and undecided since episode 2, but the conclusion of episode 4 seems to have put them back on course. Things were beginning to look better for Rick and Michonne in episode 5, until they made a major error that might have ruined everything. It makes sense that they are eager to come home now that they have officially left the CRM, but Rick and Michonne did a poor job of hiding their whereabouts. The characters had an almost limitless supply of food after discovering a car full of noodles, but they had forgotten their wrappers, which indicated which way they had gone. They also left a trail of dead walkers in their wake, including the stone zombie variation of The Ones Who Live. Even after letting some survivors live in spite of their dubious motives, Rick and Michonne encountered others who would later come back to haunt them and change the course of the franchise. Jadis successfully thwarted Rick and Michonne's effort to flee thanks in large part to the breadcrumbs they left behind. The chopper crashed after Michonne shoved Rick out of it, leading the CRM to believe that everyone inside had perished. When Jadis returned to investigate the crash scene, she saw that the car that had been there earlier had vanished. This started her search for them, and she eventually found them thanks to a trail of leftover noodle packs and dead zombies. If Rick and Michonne had been more realistic, they might have chosen a different car that wouldn't have given away the identity of their fictitious demise so easily. Similarly, Jadis would never have discovered them and would not have known for certain whether they were still alive if it weren't for the trail they left behind. Therefore, if not for their fundamental mistakes, Rick and Michonne would have probably made it home, but making them indirectly caused Jadis's Walking Dead death. Jadis's life was ultimately lost when she attempted to kill Rick and Michonne after finding them. Although her passing might mean that there is one fewer loose end, Rick and Michonne now have additional issues to work through. Their error seems really shocking given how firmly The Walking Dead has portrayed Rick and Michonne throughout the years. Even if they are both flawed, survivors don't often make mistakes, especially when the stakes are so high. Although Michonne can be too devoted to her own good and Rick has a history of being too passionate, these qualities are typically employed to overcome obstacles. Given the revelations made by The Ones Who Live regarding the dangers of the CRM, Rick and Michonne's rookie error seems out of character. It would have been more appropriate to track Rick and Michonne's tires or place some kind of tag on Rick's phone given the sophisticated technology the CRM possesses than for the protagonists to leave food parcels behind. They are two seasoned survivors who have always been astute and calculating, yet they unexpectedly provided Jadis with a very simple method to locate them. Taking the closest automobile is understandable given that they were in a hurry, but the other mistakes are unacceptable. The fact that Rick and Michonne had to be aware that the CRM might be pursuing them only serves to highlight how puzzling this omission was. The Walking Dead's future may be altered by Rick and Michonne's error, even though they are able to atone for it by killing Jadis. Rick and Michonne's Walking Dead trip appeared to be taking them back to Alexandria, where they would undoubtedly meet up with their loved ones had they not made a mistake. Even if their kids aren't in Alexandria anymore, they probably discovered the Commonwealth by now, and the series would have continued with Rick and Michonne back in the forefront. Rather, their narrative has taken a whole other turn, and they are compelled to go back to the CRM and erase Jadis's Alexandrian data. Given Jadis and Gabriel's covert contacts, going home might have presented its own set of challenges, but it's also feasible that Rick and Michonne could have avoided this. Their Walking Dead journey might have come to an end if they had been reunited with their friends and loved ones, giving them a well-earned moment of happiness. But dealing with Jadis makes it obvious that they cannot depart until they remove her proof and terminate the CRM. The Ones Who Live has an exciting ending thanks to this, but Rick and Michonne's small error could have had a significant impact on the franchise's future. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.